Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris and today we're talking about a fragrance from the house of Lancome. Lancome. On today's video we're talking about La Vie est Belle by Lancome. This is a very popular fragrance. It is one of the top selling fragrances when it comes to actual sales. Quite frankly, this fragrance is not one of my favorite ones, and I feel like this fragrance is the one and the reason why we have all the fragrances we have today that are not so unique, that are very sweet. But this fragrance is an overly sweet fragrance. We will go through the good, through the bad, through the ugly, through everything to see if this fragrance is a good fit for you. Launched in 2012, this fragrance was supposed to be symbolic of Julia Roberts' smile. I know that people are going to sit there and be like, what? What does Julia Roberts have to do with this fragrance? She's a spokesmodel since the fragrance was launched, and according to the story that goes, the Lancome CEO said that he wanted her to be the spokesmodel for the fragrance itself, and the bottle was designed to mimic her smile. Obviously, Julia Roberts has quite a big mouth, so it makes sense. I'm just joking, Julia Roberts. If you ever watch this video, it's a joke, but you do have a very wide mouth. Anywho, just like Cameron Diaz. But anywho, this fragrance was designed after her smile, and that's why it has that big dip in there. It's supposed to mimic, a very happy smile because the fragrance is called Life is Beautiful in French. The top notes for this fragrance are going to be blackcurrant and pear. You do get that blackcurrant in here. That's what kind of makes this an overly sweet fragrance because it adds that little sweetness to it at the top. The pear itself in this fragrance, I think, is supposed to be a contrasting element. However, it doesn't do a very good job of doing that. It just adds a little bit more of that fruitiness to the fragrance itself, which is not something I appreciate particularly. Then in the middle notes, you're going to get iris as well as orange blossom and jasmine. This is a very big jasmine fragrance. You do get some of that orange blossom in here as well. The iris is a contrasting element, another one that is kind of lost within the fragrance itself because it does have a powderiness to it. I don't believe it really comes from the iris itself. The jasmine is very strong in here. It is a key element in this fragrance. I think they kind of recreated this fragrance or created it to kind of mimic or, be competing with J'adore by Dior. This fragrance, like I said, has jasmine, which is a key element in that fragrance. To me, this fragrance kind of smells like if you were to grab Chanel's Allure, which is not a top selling fragrance already, and then you add sweet elements to it, a little bit of a fruity element to it, and really create a fragrance that is supposed to be, I guess, well-rounded in their eyes. It can be for the certain person that likes a sweet fragrance itself. This fragrance to me kind of comes off as a fragrance that is supposed to be very much loved by the mother-in-law, if that makes any sense. So although it has a modern approach, a modern touch to it, it can come off as old school luxury. So if you are into that, opulent, old school luxury with the modern touch, then definitely La Vie est Belle is probably the one for you. Back to the bottle itself, I really don't think that this bottle itself is going to be a very timeless one. It's not ugly per se. It is very unique compared to a lot of other ones. It kind of reminds me of Guerlain's Shalimar because Guerlain's Shalimar kind of has that indentation without this actual glass part here or without this, glass thing holding it. But it is a classic fragrance bottle. I do think that it will not be, like I said, standing the test of time, but it's going to be very much in line with Lancome's custom. Now, if you do like this fragrance at least a little bit and you want to try something else, definitely I would say to check out their counters or a department store because this fragrance has about 50 different iterations of it. There are like a bunch of different flankers that have been launched from this one. And some of them are, pretty good. Some of them are not so good. Some of the flankers in this fragrance range are going to be overly sweet, but to give it credit where credit is due, this fragrance did start a whole new trend with fragrances after this because it is manufactured through L'Oreal, that is her parent company. We did see a bunch of other fragrances that are going to be that powdery, sweet, floral type of scent, and this one was the catalyst and the creation of that range. And because of that, we are still stuck within that, very powdery, floral, sweet fragrance trend that I wish would die and go away and never be found again. On this fragrance, you can get all kinds of different sizes. They do make a refill. They make little pocket sprays. They make, bigger pocket sprays. They make big bottles, huge bottles, tiny bottles, everything you could think of. They make it for this fragrance. Obviously, that's because it has sold quite well. The smallest bottle you can get is a 0.34 fluid ounce bottle, and the price for that would be 34 US dollars. You can also get a 0.50 ounce bottle, and the price for that would be 41 US dollars. I'm not sure what the dollar's for. Someone needs to buy cigarettes, and that's why they charge that $1 to you. You can also get a 30 ml or 1.0 fluid ounces, and the price for that's going to be 85 US dollars. Then they make a 50 ml or 1.7 ounce bottle, and the price for that is 118 US dollars. Then there's a 2.5 fluid ounce bottle, and the price for that is 135 US dollars. Then they make a 3.4 fluid ounce bottle or 100 mils, which is this size here that I have today, and the price for that is 150 US dollars. Then you can get a large size bottle, which is a 5-ounce bottle or 200 mils, and that one's going to run you 168 US dollars. And like I said, they also do manufacture a refill, which you can refill your perfume bottles. I'm not sure if that is excluded to certain sizes or if that comes with all of the new bottles. Mine is a formulation from 2017. So mine does not refill, they don't do that with this. So what are my final thoughts on this fragrance? I do think that it's not necessarily a bad fragrance. It's not a fragrance that makes me want to shake my tatas or do any of that sort. It's not a fragrance that necessarily gets me excited to go out and purchase it by any means. And like I said, a lot of their flankers are not my cup of tea. But, like I said, credit where credit is due. They have created a whole different category of fragrances and a whole range of these sweet floral powdery scents that, started with La Vie est Belle by Lancome. And if you do like it, I would certainly say to check out department stores prior to purchasing online, because Lancome being a gifting line, they typically throw in a bunch of perks and prizes and all kinds of free crap that you can get whenever you do buy this bottle. So what are your guys' thoughts on this fragrance? Let me know down below if you liked today's review. My name is Chris. If you didn't like my review today, my name is James Charles. You can go leave all the hate mail there and give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more fragrance related content. And I hope to see you on the next video.